everyone, it's leftovers for dinner, and I'm about to take pictures for my Etsy shop. Now, as you guys know, I recently opened an Etsy shop with little handmade items, and I need to take good photos for it. So, since I have a little bit of photography experience, and a lot of people like my photos, I decided, hey, let's share some of those photography tips with everybody else, so that y'all can take good photos for your blogs or your Etsy shops too. So let's get started. Okay, first off, get your camera. It doesn't matter if you have like a DSLR camera like this, or if you have a simple point and shoot. In either instance, get your camera, make sure it's set to auto. It's going to be the easiest way to take pictures. Now, if you want to play with the settings, go ahead. I recommend making sure your white balance is even and adjust to the lighting that you're using. And that's about it. You can go to your camera's manual, look it up on the internet, whatever. Essentially, this video is not going to be me troubleshooting everybody's white balance issues. It is just going to say, get your camera ready, and yeah, make sure it's working. Okay, so this video is going to be about lighting, and lighting, as well as basically setup, are the most important things when taking pictures. Honestly, I have worked with all sorts of cameras. It doesn't matter if it's a simple point and shoot or a big old DSLR camera. The key to taking good pictures is knowing how to take good pictures. So we're going to focus on lighting and setup. Grab your camera, then set up your scene. Since I am taking pictures of jewelry items with a like a Southwest theme, I've decided to take a little nature approach to it. A lot of rocks I've gathered from like all my rock and mineral and gem collecting out here in the Southwest, and I set them up in a certain way, and then I put my piece of jewelry on top of them, like that. Let's see if we can get this camera to focus. Okay, so yeah, it kind of looks a little natural. Now you do notice it's actually raised up from the surface of the table, and it's on cardboard. And you're like, why would she put it on cardboard? Well, that's to isolate it from this busy, noisy tablecloth. But if it's in your Etsy photos, it's a little distracting. Plus, it doesn't give people a good idea or feel of what you're selling. So try to set up a little scene, a very basic, simple scene that goes along with the Etsy items that you're trying to sell. Now, the cardboard box, it's simple, it's brown, it was free. The reason I'm using it is because when I take my camera and I focus in on this, it actually blurs this entire brown area and just makes it look like, oh, that's actually a pile of rocks, you know, in the desert. You can also do the same thing with something called a white box, which is basically a cardboard or plastic box that is all white. This scene, once I'm done taking pictures and people need to eat on my kitchen table, I can actually just lift it up, fold it, and move it someplace else. Okay, we're actually gonna experience a little bit of a weird camera effect right now for this next part. The next part is lighting. Now right here, I have one little professional or studio light that I got for super cheap on Amazon. You can search for them. I can provide a link in the show notes. These are something if you plan on doing photography all the time. I think I spent 40-ish bucks on 2 lights. But did you just notice that? How I went from one light, and it's got a different color, to a middle ground, and now the other light. I also have lights up here and light from the window. That's because lighting is so critical when you're taking pictures. When you're taking pictures, if there's not enough light on the object you're taking pictures of, the color isn't going to be true. It's going to be hard for the camera to focus. There's just a million photography problems that happen when you don't have enough light. So on a budget, if you are, you know, an at-home handmade artist, make sure you have a lot of light. You don't need these little studio lights. When I first started out, I actually had just those standing lights that you buy at like Walmart and Target, you know, little standing living room lights. And I would just get them as close to my table as possible, and that's it. I would also make sure I dragged my table as close to a window as possible. Pull the blinds up, make sure there's light on everything, and make sure, this is a little photography tip, turn your lights on, walk away for a few minutes. Give some of the lights, depending on the type of lights you're using, a chance to warm up and soften up the room. Those are my lighting tips. I hope you liked them. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or you want to know something else about taking good photos, let me know in the comments.